All right, for class, first off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today we are going to be talking about incentives. What does it mean, not just in everyday life, but also in economic terms? Okay, so the objective today, we're going to analyze the effectiveness of negative incentives. We're going to examine the different types of incentives, and basically, we're going to create an argument on whether incentives always work or not. And then in class, we actually had a little discussion of which incentive do they think worked best. So obviously, you won't be able to do that, but I just want you to think like which one would work best in society or overall. Which one would be better. Okay. So here's your warm up picture. Now, the question I ask you is basically to analyze this picture, but I wanted you to tell me. You get to pick whichever side you want to analyze. What do you think this artist is trying to say about people? So these are the guys who are on that little cliff thing right there. What do you think this artist is trying to say about them? Or you can pick that face in the sky. That's representing corporations and businesses. What do you think this artist is trying to say about them? So whichever one you feel that, hey, I think I can explain this one better, or I can explain the top one better, go with that one. Okay. What do you think this artist is trying to say about either the people or corporations and businesses? Okay. So you pick. Now, once you're done, um, get ready for the notes because they're coming up. Otherwise, pause the video, write your responses because we're moving on in three, two, one. Okay, so incentives, and we're talking about all incentives, economics and real life incentives. These are anything that motivates a person to behave a certain way. Okay, um, what I've used as the example always seems to work. If you have a little brother, sister, cousin, um, niece, nephew, things like that, um, sometimes you're like, God, will you just be quiet? Will you do this or that? Just get out of my face for half an hour and I'll get you something. You know, I'll get you McDonald's, I'll get you a candy, I'll get you this and that. That's the incentive for them. Well, if I be quiet for an hour, don't bother so and so for an hour, I'll get this. Okay, so an incentive could be anything because not every kid likes candy. Some kids don't like that. They'd rather have, a toy. They'd rather have, you know, um, something else, money, even that, so everyone's different. Everyone has different motivations. So the incentives always differ from everyone. Okay. Now, in economic terms, it's the preferences of your needs, wants, and desires. Okay. Now, there are five major incentives in economics. There's tax incentives, financial incentives, subsidies, tax rebates, and negative incentives. Okay. Now, like I said in class, these five to you right now probably seem like who cares? Why do I care about tax incentive? Subsidies, tax rebates. Why do I care? But here's the thing: you may not care about it now, but if you have a job or in the future you will want to know, like, how come I'm paying so much taxes? I'm not getting any money back. Well, did you look for tax rebates? Is there anything, the tax incentives that you looked into that you could have got? You know, so yeah, as you get older, this stuff will become important and it will play a role in your life. So let's start with a tax incentive. It's a reduction in taxes that encourages spending on certain item or activities. So, a great example is the mortgage interest deduction. This ensures money paid towards your mortgage interest isn't counted as taxable income to you. Because remember, I've said this before. Um, any type of anytime you get paid, anytime you get money, you are going to be taxed. So when you work at a place, you get your check, taxes are taken out. You win the lottery, taxes are going to be taken out. Your great grandma passes away and she leaves you $100,000. You're going to get taxed on that. You put money in the stock market and you decide to cash out, and it doesn't matter if you made money or lost money. When you cash out, you are going to be taxed on that money. Why? Because again, anytime you get money, the government's going to tax you. And I've had a lot of students over the years like, well, that's stupid. If the stock market, you put money in, shouldn't you take it out? Well, yeah, you can. But the thing is, you're making basically a gamble. And when you take it, try to get money back, whether you made a profit or not, the government sees it as, oh, you're getting money. Even though it's your own money, hey, you're still getting money. So tax you on that. Now, why do they do this thing with the mortgage? Because the government wants you to own property. Okay, because again, when people own property, they own a home, they're going to buy things like garden hoses and furniture and light bulbs and things like that. That type of stuff you're going to buy at Target, Walmart, things like that. That gets the economy going. And the government loves that. Especially local governments, they love that because that's where you're doing to keep people, employed. Okay. Now, corporations also get tax incentives. All right. Great example is like when a company says, hey, we want to open a factory in a new town. Some towns will be like, hey, look at, you can pick any part of the land that's within our, limits, city limits. And we won't tax you on the property for like, let's say 10 years. That company might say, heck, that sounds like a good deal. So they'll put their factory there. They'll they won't get taxed and things like that. Because you have to remember, a factory, why does the city do this? Because a factory, in order for it to run, they need people, right? That company needs to hire people at that factory. So the town's unemployment is going to go down. People are going to be having a job, make money, and let's say, just saying hypothetically, let's say some of their workers live out of town. Okay, fine. But here's the thing: when they go on lunch, you know, are they going to always bring lunch from home? Probably not. So they're going to probably get something nearby. They're probably going to go to that McDonald's, that Burger King, the Taco Bell or Taco Truck, whatever. But either way, that city is going to be making some money. So there you go. Now, financial incentives, it's a broad term meaning any monetary benefit given to a consumer, an employer, corporation, or organization. So anytime a company gets some type of money back, or they think they're saving money, that's a financial incentive. Okay. Uh, these incentives are used so that people would do something that they otherwise wouldn't do. They're given a carrot, as it's called, chasing the carrot. So here's the thing, like some companies, some people are really, really good at their job. That sometimes companies will be like, you know what, don't go to that other place, work for us, you know. So like when all these businesses started opening up again when COVID, when the and it's like, I'm not gonna say it's go went away, but when people started to start going back to the stores and things like that, a lot of businesses were like, "We'll hire you, anyone." Oh, these company will pay you $15. We'll pay you $17. We'll give you, a week vacation right out the back. Things like that. because why? They wanted workers to go to their place instead of other places. So sometimes they'll give employers stock options, which means that the person who works there, they have stock options, they get to own a piece of the company. Now, are they going to own like 50% of it? No, no. But hey, if they work there long enough, they keep collecting stock, who knows? They might get like 10%, 15%, who knows? The other thing that I really, really emphasized on in class was commission. Because there are some jobs where they have commission. So when you sell something, not only are you going to get paid your minimum wage, you're also going to get some money when you sell a particular item. So I've had some students tell me like, "Oh, I worked at a shoe store, like like Foot Locker, and these top shoes. If I sold them for every pair, I get like 10% of it. So let's say these shoes cost $500. Well, 10% of that is $50. So they'd be like, hey, on top of what I made that day, I get an extra $50 because I sold those shoes. Now, here's the thing though, because I learned this from a friend of mine who uh, worked as a car salesman. Basically, someplace when they have commissions, they have a thing called a cap. And they say you can only make, let's say, $3,000 a month. So once you've done all your sales and you reach that 3,000 mark, anything after that, the company keeps, not you. It doesn't transfer over to the next month. No, no, no. That company gets that money. So he told me what he would do is once he reached his cap, he would still go to work, and you know, talk to the people, things like that, about buying a car, truck, or whatever. But then he would say, okay, you know what? Hold on one second. And then he'd go talk to one of his friends who was underneath his cap and be like, hey, I got this couple here. They're ready to buy this truck. You go ahead and make the sale. Because he knew if he sold it, the company's going to get the money. Whereas if he gave it to his friend is going to get that commission. Help his friend out. So that's something for quite a while I've been teaching and trying to inform you guys on. So if you ever have a place and you work for a place and they say, "Oh, we go by commission," ask them, "Do you guys have a cap?" Now, for consumers, you and me, the buyers, we are given things like discounts. 30% off, 40% off. Sometimes even something like BOGOs, right? Buy one, get one. Oh, that sounds interesting. That sounds good. I've heard a student in class go, if someone's selling Jordans, the pair I want, like $300, if there was a buy one, get one, oh, heck yeah, I'd buy two. Like, why? And they're like, well, because each pair is $150, really. Do you think it cost Nike $150 to make those shoes? No. Yeah, exactly. That's why they do that kind of stuff. They know the cost to make those shoes are down here, and they're going to sell the price way up here. Even with the half off, the price is down here. They're still making that profit. That's why they do that kind of stuff. They want you to buy more than you need. Okay. The next thing is subsidies. This is government programs that are set up to help companies with economic growth. So, like right now, it's raining outside. It's starting to get really cold. So, excuse me. If let's say it freezes, right now, let's say throughout the night it freezes, and the oranges that aren't picked yet, let's say they get frozen, they get, they're no longer able to use those. The government will come in and say, hey, farmers, look at, we're going to cover you guys. Okay. We can't let you guys go bankrupt. We can't let you go down. They have subsidies for farmers in case of situations like this. Okay. The other thing is tax rebates. Now, these are incentives to take certain actions. both corporations and people. One of the best examples of this was back when Obama was president. Um, a lot of governors around the country were like, man, the people are sucking up the power from the power grid, and we're having a lot of brownouts, blackouts. We need to do something. So Obama and his group were like, well, why don't we encourage people to buy solar panels? Green energy. That way they don't take so much from the power grid. You know, it helps out the environment, which a lot of people want to do. So why don't we do that? Give them a tax break. Like $100, $500. You know, so tax rebates. It's not just the federal government. Also, state and even local governments give tax rebates. You know, sometimes during the summer you might hear the thing going, "Oh, hey, we're in a drought. We need people to not water their grass today, or only at these this couple days at this certain times." So if you have one of those automatic, your watering system is on automatic and has a schedule. If you adjust it and change it, sometimes the city or the state will then give you a tax rebate. Because you're doing what they're asking, and they might give you, hey, here's a little $100 tax off of your you know $100 off your taxes. You know, this next one is one of my favorites. It's called negative incentives. This is also known as disincentives. This punishes people financially for taking certain actions. Now, can this be used in real life? Absolutely. Now, I'm sure some of you guys have seen, if not just in your family, you've probably seen it out and about in the real world, where like little kids will be acting a fool. They won't be doing something they're supposed to, and their parent says, "Well, you know what? I'm taking your phone away." And the little kids are, "Oh no, no, give me my phone, give me my tablet." And they're like, "No, not till you do this. Clean the room, throw the trash, whatever, or you know, not until you behave, not until you." So there's the action that they want, and to get sure that the kid does that, they take away something. Same thing with this, except here they hit you financially. And research has shown time and time again, people will behave a certain way faster when something they desire or something they have and cherish is taken away as opposed to being given something. Okay. One of the things we do in California here as a disincentive or negative incentive is like when you go to a store and you buy groceries, they'll ask you, do you have any reusable bags? No. Do you need some bags? Yes. Okay. And they charge you 10 cents a bag. No, you're like, oh, 10 cents a bag. Whoop, whoop. Who cares? But you have to remember, every time you go to the grocery store, you're getting like 5 bags, 6 bags. And times that, how many times you go to the grocery store per month, times that by 12. And you know what? You just wasted $20, $30 on bags that either are in another bag that's just sitting in your garage, or you've already tossed them out. That's money you just wasted that you could have used. See, so that's the negative incentive. Hit you financially. It may not seem like much, but as the year goes by, you're like, why do I have all these bags for? Each one of them cost me 10 cents. I don't even reuse them. Okay, so that's what that is. So here is your question. Now, I want you to think about something you really like, whether it's Jordans or a particular type of clothing, shirts, jackets, whatever. Um, like me, it's my little pop figures. So for you, what is something you really like? And tell me, are you a sucker for a sale? When you see that 40% off or that buy one, get one, and especially if it's something for something you like, something you really desire. Are you a sucker for a sale? Now, let's say you're one of the people who go, you know what, buy one get one. Nah, it doesn't get me. Even if it's for something I like. Let's say you like the cookies shirt or whatever, right? You like wearing the cookie jackets, and they have a sale, buy one get one, and you're like, nah, I don't want to buy one get ones. Well, what would it take for you to go? Dang, that's a heck of a sale. I can't pass that up. I gotta go and get some, shirts or whatever the item may be that you really like. Tell me, what would it be that percentage? Okay. Now, again, be realistic. There's no sale where it's 95% off, 90% off. Maybe except like the Christmas decorations. But even then, that's like right now. And all that's left is basically the wrapping paper that nobody wants. So, yeah, those 90%, 95%, they don't exist. So be kind of reasonable, be more realistic, okay? And tell me, what percentage would it take for you to say, okay, that's a heck of a sale. I'll probably never see that again. I got to buy it, okay? So once you answer this question, you're done with this um, entire lesson for the day. Uh, Hopefully, you learned something new. Hopefully, you enjoyed this class. Okay. So, with that being said, you guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.